What is up, everyone? OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to the PE news video. Today we're breaking down some great information for you, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So 343 Industries will have a little something at E3 2017, but it won't be Halo 6. Halo series developer 343 Industries will have a little something, in quotations there, at E3 2017 in Los Angeles next month, but it won't be related to Halo 6, community manager Brian Gerard confirmed on Reddit. I'll slip into my dream crusher persona for a minute in the name of realistic expectations. We've said this already, but we'll have a little something at E3, but it's not related to the next major entry in the franchise, Gerard said. E3 2017 runs from June 13th to June 15th. So this is really interesting that he's saying this just because Halo 5 was good. I guess it did okay, but I know it didn't perform up to exactly what Microsoft thought it could do for the Xbox hardware, in addition to the sales of the game itself. So they're saying that there's not going to be a Halo 6, but I wouldn't quite be so sure about that at this point. Maybe he's just trying to set people up. It could be a marketing ploy. Who knows? What little something are they going to have? Maybe DLC, maybe an expansion pack, a major one for Halo 5. So I think they're going to have something Halo related, but it might not be the next major game in the franchise. We'll see what happens at this year's E3 2017 in Los Angeles. Alright, and moving on to the next article here. DeNA shares some information on the next Animal Crossing mobile release date info, in addition to Fire Emblem Heroes selling well. DeNA is the company who helps Nintendo work on their smartphone and mobile titles, for those who don't know. So here's some information they listed off. Animal Crossing Mobile will release this financial year before March 31st, 2018. The specific delivery time of Animal Crossing will be at a later date. The partnership with Nintendo is medium to long term. They will publicly announce future titles when appropriate. They are developing collaborative titles that will release beyond this term. Will focus on updates and events, etc. to Fire Emblem Heroes. Reach a satisfactory level of sales with Fire Emblem Heroes. Super Mario Run has reached 165 countries and will soon achieve 150 million downloads. So let's talk about this just a little bit, just because I'm not really huge on the mobile thing, but I understand that mobile is very important to Nintendo's core business and advancing their franchises and also making a little bit of extra money on the side. I do feel that Animal Crossing has the potential to be the biggest money maker for Nintendo when it comes to the mobile front. If you look at the different revenue models Nintendo has done, it's pretty clear that Nintendo's new age style of revenue model with Mario did okay, but definitely isn't like as good as the tried and true, which is the monetization through microtransactions that Fire Emblem Heroes does with all the different characters you can collect. It's just more fun. People just find that more appealing than paying a block chunk of money for this game when they can just pay little bits here and there and get different things. Mario Run is so funny because to me it's more suited for like a new Super Mario Bros. Or a game that you'd see on a portable, like a dedicated portable, more so than an iPhone game or more so than an Android game. It's just not quite antiquated for it. Now, is it good? Does it work well? Of course it does, but there's a reason why Fire Emblem Heroes is doing a lot better when it comes to revenue-wise. But with Animal Crossing, if they have the same model that Fire Emblem has, but then you take that with like items and all of the stuff that Animal Crossing encompasses, you can have a game that potentially surpasses Fire Emblem when it comes to revenue, because Animal Crossing is just a bigger franchise in general. Now, all that's left to see is that if the fans react to it the same way Fire Emblem fans have reacted in terms of purchasing additional content on top of the base package, which comes for free. So we'll see what happens with Nintendo smartphone games. Like I said, I'm not really too big into them, but at the same time I understand why Nintendo's doing them and how it makes the franchises that they're based off of more popular when it comes to Nintendo's core titles. Alright, I'm moving on to the next article here. Konami says that Super Bomberman R has reached a wide range of customers in their latest financial call. So Super Bomberman R seems to be the boost the franchise needed to reclaim some of its former glory. Last we heard from Nintendo, they confirmed that Konami's title shipped 500,000 units. Now, in Konami's fiscal report, the company chimed in to say that the game has reached a wide range of customers. Let's hope there's both old and new Bomberman fans alike that are still having fun with this game and eager to see where things go next. Go Nintendo, right? So I do want to talk about this just a little bit here, because 500,000 units shipped for them, Konami that is, and Nintendo, that means 500,000 units sold to the retailers. And Bomberman, the thing about the game is that it's gone through a lot of revisions. There's been a couple different updates, and the most recent update really helped as far as the game getting into 60 frames per second, the timing, everything feels a lot tighter and better to control at this point. So I don't really see sales as far as the long-term prospects really going down too much to where it comes to a crawl. I think Bomberman, it can continue to sell well and continue to get in the homes of people because it is that classic action game as far as Bomberman goes that people want to play. It's fun to play with your family. You can play it single player. They've retuned some of the things in there. So I definitely see Bomberman doing better just because Bomberman hasn't been around for so long. And getting to 500,000 units shipped, that's really good. And in terms of sales, that's the best Bomberman has done in quite some time. But it's been a while since we've seen this franchise. Let's hope it continues. But what I really want to see from this, if they can bring back some of their other classic franchises, such as Castlevania, I think Castlevania is seriously due for a reboot on the Nintendo Switch, working with Nintendo. Maybe it uses Unity just like Super Bomberman R did. Get it out there. It doesn't have to be a massive game, but it can be an old school 2D Castlevania game, and I think that could do better than Super Bomberman R, in my opinion, just because of the history the Castlevania franchise has had and the fact that people really want to see another Castlevania game. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Alright, and moving on to the last article here. Azure Striker Gunvolt has sold more than 180,000 copies on the Nintendo 3DS, and the sequel has hit 38,000 copies. Inti Creates confirmed earlier today that Blaster Master Zero has sold 80,000 copies on the Nintendo Switch. As it turns out, the other sales data has been shared as well. So Azure Striker Gunvolt, Inti Creates' first Nintendo 3DS game, has sold over 180,000 copies. The company has also confirmed that the sales of the sequel are at 38,000. Both of these figures are based on worldwide sales on the eShop as of May 1st. 2017. So I do want to talk about this just briefly because I think the sequel is selling far less because they probably should have had the Nintendo Switch version of the game ready to go or announced it at some point. If it's not coming, it should, because we saw with Blaster Master Zero how much better the Switch version did because they didn't announce the 3DS sales of Blaster Master Zero. We saw how it did on the Nintendo Switch. People want that style of game, and I think people were anticipating this game potentially coming to Nintendo Switch, so they didn't buy the sequel. That's the only reason why I didn't purchase the sequel, because I was thinking, well, it's going to come to the Switch at some point. So I think Inti Creates needs to get on that, because I do feel that 38,000, while still very good, but it would have been a lot higher if there was a Switch version of the game. I can guarantee you that. So hopefully they get on that. And I do have one more bonus topic that I wanted to get into. This is from the Patreon backers. Thank you guys so much for all of your suggestions for video topics, and a lot of you guys, including AUG or Og, I'm not exactly sure how he wants me to pronounce it, has talked about me going over my Nintendo Switch E3 productions, one for Nintendo, one for third-party games. And I've already done some of this before, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down pretty much each week leading up into E3, where I'll give one prediction on something that Nintendo or a third-party company is going to do for a Nintendo system like the Nintendo Switch. So my first prediction as far as what I think is going to happen at E3 is that we will see the return of F-Zero on the Nintendo Switch, but it's not going to be the same style of game that we think it's going to be. I feel that it could potentially be an eShop title only, and if they don't go in that route as far as an eShop title only, it could be a remaster of F-Zero GX, something like that. eShop, maybe smaller scale, either a remaster or eShop title. And if they don't do that, I also have another crazy theory that they're going to completely almost change the genre of F-Zero, where it's going to be just more than a racing game. You'll be able to do more outside of that. Now, and I've talked about that before as far as what I would want for F-Zero. I feel that it would be better as far as in today's modern age as potentially a Sleeping Dogs style of game, just because of all the different characters and history and lore that that game has. There's an anime out there and it's actually pretty good. I do feel that it can be more than just a racing game, and if they do something bigger than that, it's definitely going to be just more than what we've seen before. We're going to see the characters more. We're going to have a real story mode in there. It's going to be more than what we've seen as far as the F-Zero franchise goes, if they decide to go that route. So I do have an F-Zero game coming, but it can go in either two ways there, as I said. Alright, Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and please make sure you check out the link in the description below. There we have our Patreon campaign, which will be giving away this bad boy. We're raffling it off early June, but May 31st is when the cutoffs end. You can pledge any tier and get in on this giveaway. Patreon backers get all sorts of exclusive stuff from priority access, voice chat and Discord on my live streams, and much more. So check out the link in the description below and support PlayerEssence on Patreon. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the gym for the next video. Peace!